That bar was all sticky tables and broken glass. It had a thin veneer of plastic over everything, lacquered on by the new owner. All manner of old mess, covered by a sheen of new money. I'd lost track of the door when we came in. It was one of those nights where the place becomes a labyrinth and you Theseus, stumbling, mumbling, staring. I chewed my jaw when I was drunk, made everyone think I knew this girl called Mandy. The truth was, I was just a nervous wreck, and I lose control of that particular tale when inebriated. The promise of a good time always had a few stare and a few others approach, though it wasn't long before they deciphered my grunts and came to realise that I too was all sticky tables and broken glass. That place had some real spooky spots, some back rooms, some corners where you'd find oddities not fit for daylight. The front was sports channels on big TVs and pop music with 2-for-1 cocktails. The back, however, was where they kept the freaks and geeks, the cats and dogs, the real horror show. It's normally around the time of my 6th or 7th. That's when I get up and leave whoever I came with and go wandering down dark passages and opening doorways labelled staff only. Sometimes I find buckets and mops and silly thoughts. Sometimes I might find horns and hooves all snarling and ugly. One might ask, why do you even bother? Why go wandering in the back? I say, what's a night without some danger? What's a life without some regret? And why do you ask so many questions? This night I knew, even while still in TV Popland, that I was soon headed deep into the dark of the back. This night I was going to get a running start into oblivion. I knew this because only after the first I began to chew. The second and third got me mad, and by the fourth I was sad. I wish I could say that I made it all the way around to glad at some point. That's just not how these things go. I got a running start. I dove headfirst into the back and found myself going full speed down one of the hallways which the place was known for. It was a bendy, directionless affair with dark green wallpaper and red carpet. The name always changed, but this building had been a bar of some kind or another since before time. The front had a new facade every other year, with a new corporate owner, but in the back, that's where you'd find the old, peeling off the walls, layers of red and green and beige, decades past, all glued on top of one another. I was clomping clumsily down one of the narrow passages with blurry eyes and a worried mind. It was a familiar routine. I'd opened the wrong door and found the bull. He'd spotted me and exhaled smoke and fire from his snout. I'd done the old back away slowly number, but to no use. He had my ticket. He reared up and I bolted. Down, 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 he drove me deeper into the back. My legs carried me in precisely. The ground felt numb and loose. Might have been the carpet, might have been a dream. Just like a dream, every time it seemed that I'd gotten away, he'd appear around the next corner, horns pointed, fiery brand and all. My respite was the occasional door left unlocked, each framed in thick black timber and furnished with a brass handle. The first room tonight was a laser show with drum and bass, filthy with spills and sweat, filled to the corners with participants willing and unwilling. Second room, an empty theatre, a single chair bound in leather straps and hooks for your eyelids, horror show with a sinking pain in my gut. The last was a classroom. Its pain needs no words and I can't bear to give them. Room to room, hallway to barroom, I ran from the beast and it chased. My heart, his hooves, thud, thud, thud. I heard a voice then, and it was my own. Kill the bull, set you free. That was just bad grammar, and an odd thought too, me having no gun or knife to hand. But it came again. Kill the bull, set you free. It was worth a try, so I spun around on my heels and squatted a little, fully expecting to be bowled over or impaled. The bull charged from down the green and red hallway, growing larger and closer, snorting and spitting. His horns swung side to side as he galloped, leaving gashes in the old wallpaper. Closer and closer, until he began to skid and came to a stop, with his horns an inch from my chest. I could feel the heat of his body and see the smoke of his snout. His fiery brand licked the air. There was a pull, as if his body was dense like the sun. I felt I was being drawn into his horns, though he stepped no further. I'd been staring straight at the tip of his horns, so close to impaling my chest. Seeing now he was unable to move any closer, I looked into his face. The muscles of his jaw chewed incessantly, gnawing on his teeth. His body, though at a full stop, was taut like rope and strained against itself. I wish I could say that I grabbed hold of his horns and wrestled him to the ground, but the truth was that when I reached out, I did so with compassion, and even before I could touch him, he'd faded entirely.